But that's what I want you guys to be able to do. Like when you go to college, when you go to high school, it shouldn't even be a question. Like when the teachers are telling you that you got a test, you should be able to walk into that test like, yo, I got this. It shouldn't be like, yo, I hope I pass. It should be like, nah, I know I'm gonna pass. So that's why I'm telling you that it's important to figure out what it is that you love to do and to go hard. If you don't go hard, somebody else, I'm guaranteeing you that there's somebody else that's going harder than what it is that you want to do. Like the talents that you already have, how can you use that to create work for yourself? Exactly. Some of you guys said you wanted to be lawyers, right? Some of you guys said you wanted to be pediatricians and veterinarians, right? So football players, right? Now, and even in football, and we're going to talk about that, even football players have a coach, right? That's somebody to teach them how to play the game properly. All right. So anything that you do is going to take hard work, and anything that you're gonna do is going to require you to have a good teacher. It's not until I got a teacher that's when I learned the things that I was doing wrong, and she helped me to do the things that I was already doing right, even better. And so once that happened, I was able to start applying these different principles. And now, even today, now that I don't have a teacher anymore, right, I'm able to still use the principles that the teacher gave me and put them into play when I'm learning new things on my own, right? I know how to practice better now. So I'm telling you guys this because the teacher is trying to give you some things right here in your classroom, right? Some people, you guys like rap music? Anybody likes R&B? Right? But you got any kind of music that you listen to requires you to know some things, right? Usually when people write lyrics, they're using what? Rappers use a lot of what? Similes and metaphors, right? How can you properly write a rap song if you don't know what a simile or a metaphor is? Or if you don't remember what it is? All right, what's a simile or a metaphor?
A simile is comparing two words using like or as, and a metaphor is comparing two things not using as.
And they do that a lot they use both of those a lot in rap music. Now, that also means that you have to do what? That also means that you have to understand the definition of words, right? So if you're not in class, if you don't read books, right? If you don't go to the dictionary when you don't understand the word, how are you gonna, and now when it comes to writing a song and you're writing it, people listening to your song like, what is going on here? What are you gonna say? Nobody's gonna wanna listen to your song, right? And that's gonna mess up your what? Money, right? Right? So we have a common theme, a common word that I was saying, and it's a good word, is agreement, right? So a contract is an agreement that somebody's going to pay one person some money. This is just a basic contract now. Somebody's going to pay somebody some money in order for the other person to do something for them. So in sports, the owner of the team pays them millions of dollars, right? But the owner of the team is expecting that when I give you millions of dollars, that you're going to come and you're going to play for my basketball team, right? So now in order to have a good contract though, how do you know what kind of contract that you're signing unless you're paying attention in class to know what words mean, right? Because the contract is a bunch of words written down on a piece of paper. If somebody doesn't take the time to know what that word means, if you're supposed to get $10 million and they only give you $100,000, right? That's a big difference, right? That could be a big difference in the kind of life that you live, right? 100,000 versus 10 million. So you have to understand this. In track, you want to be as light as possible, right? It doesn't make sense. A lot of you are the faster you go. So these shoes are pretty light. You can feel them. In 7th grade, I never did a sport, right? Then in 8th grade, I said, let me try some sports. Let me see what I can do in this game. I'm just gonna try some sports. So I went out for cross country. Cross country is similar to track, but you're not running on a track. Usually cross country, you have to run a couple of miles for the race, right? So I did that. I was decent at that. And then I played basketball also, and I did well in that. As a matter of fact, I got MVP for my junior high school basketball. Then I played volleyball also, and then I played track and field. I ran track and field. Okay, so when I ran track, what happened is when I made it to high school, guess what? I went for cross country in high school, right? And then I went for I went out for cross country. I did well in that. But then guess what? I went out for my basketball team. And when I tried out for my high school basketball team, guess what? I didn't make it, right? So even though I was MVP when I was in junior high school, I didn't make the cut when I was in high school. But guess what? That wasn't a bad thing, right? Because as you can see, I'm not the tallest person in the world, so I probably wasn't going to be like in the NBA or anything like that anyway, right? But because when I got cut from the basketball team, I said, okay, let me try a different sport. So they actually, in high school, you have indoor track and field. Right? So indoor track and field, I said, let me check this out, let's see what it's all about. And it turned out when I got into indoor track and field, I thrived in it. And because of the training that I was getting from indoor track and field, when it came to outdoor track and field, I was already in shape, so I was even better outdoor. So I decided to keep on doing this year after year. And because of that decision, even though it looked like a bad, when I first didn't make the basketball team, it looked to me like it was a bad thing that was happening to me. It was actually a good thing because I may never have gotten All-American in track and field if I hadn't made my basketball team, right? So it actually pushed me in the right direction to get the best out of my talents.
When did you fall in love with music?
When did I fall in love with music? That's a great question. I've always loved music, and one of the reasons why I've always loved music is because of my father. My father is a keyboard player also, and he plays a lot of other instruments also. And he would always be playing jazz and just good, like funk. He would always be playing all kinds of music when we were growing up. So I would always be listening, and I just noticed I love music. And so when I was 5 years old, they signed me up. I started playing the piano. All right, and then when I was 8 years old, I started playing the drums. Okay, and then I also started playing the saxophone when I was 9 years old. And then as I got older, I just kept on doing more and more. A few years ago, I started playing the guitar. Right, I still got a lot of work to do on the guitar because I don't practice the guitar the way I practice the drums, which I should if I want to be a guitar player. That's why it's important for you to practice as much as you can now, because when you get my age, you start running out of time to do different things real quick. So now, one of the last principles that I want to leave you with is on the shirt that I'm wearing. All right. So what does the shirt say? Right? But now, one of you can see closer, you see reward, right? But notice, in here, there's some reward over here too, but as the shirt goes along, the reward sign gets bigger and bigger until you get a nice big reward here at the end of work, right? So what does that mean? What does that mean? Right? What about think about your goals, right? Your goals, some of you said that you wanted to be, there were certain jobs that you wanted, there were certain kinds of money that you want to make. How much money do you want to make?
More than $1 million.
You want to be rich, right? Everybody for the most part wants to be rich, right? But guess what? Nobody just hands money over to you for no reason, right?
You gotta work and earn it.
You gotta work and earn it, right? Even all the people, all the athletes that you see, all the music artists that you see, they work very hard. Like they're not just doing, they do concerts, but in order for them to do concerts, a lot of them some of them in their contract, we spoke about contracts, right? Some of them in their contracts, they have to work out a certain amount of hours per week, right? Do a certain amount of running per week to stay in shape, right? You gotta keep your body in shape if they're going all over the place. Some of them can't eat certain things, why? Because it'll affect their voice. Some of them stay up, some artists stay up 3 days straight at a time. Why? Because they're working so hard. Sometimes you forget to eat. There are days when I'm doing something that I do that I forget to even eat, right? Because I'm working so hard. But guess what? I don't mind it though, because I don't even see it as work sometimes because I love what I'm doing. And I think it's very important for you guys to figure out what is it that you love doing. You want to play that again? All right, give me one more beat. Let me see what you have. Good job. I'll show the class something.